Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Using the shared object repository and the descriptive program. Anyway, we are going to work more towards that way in the control classes also. So as I mentioned yesterday, we are going to first work on the project using the shared object repository of the sessions. We work on the descriptive program. Okay. So today just we are going to look at so we discussed a little bit on this license mechanisms even before. So let's quickly go through that part. So what are the different licensing mechanisms in QTP? What are the different licenses?
The node lock license and the floating license.
Yeah, node lock and the floating licenses, right? So these are the two licensing types. The node lock and the floating license. Okay. So node lock license is pretty much it's specific to the system. Okay. So once you install the particular license on the machine, say for example you got a node lock license on your system once it is installed. So that's done. So you can use that QTP license on your system. Nobody else can use that. It's not shared. Right? Only it is specific to that particular system. Say node lock. Whereas the floating license is the one it can be shared. So usually this kind of licenses will be installed on server. Okay. So floating license will be installed on server, and then so we are going to connect to the server. So basically you might have observed whenever you install QTP, so the last part of it, okay, so let me show you quickly. So in the last part of the result, basically you will get see this kind of window you will get, right? So once you run, then it's going to show you this is basically like the licensing type. So this is pretty much the cheap license is a node lock license, which is specific to that particular computer. Okay, it's specific to the computer. So the component license is a floating license, and then so once you select this concurrent license and click next button, then what happens is it's going to ask like, okay, input the server name. Okay, once you select this option and click next, The next window it says, okay, enter the server name. Server name is nothing but the machine name where these concurrent licenses are installed. Usually like the concurrent licenses will be put on the server and then you're going to connect to the server. Okay, that's what the difference between the seed and concurrent license. So concurrent license, what the advantage is, say for example you have 5 concurrent licenses. 5 concurrent licenses. That means at a time 5 people can use. 5 people can use 5 licenses. 5 people can use QTP and then they can do the scripting. So for example, say you have one concurrent license. So today just you have some QTP work, so you want to develop some scripts. So pretty much that you're going to select here and then you connect to the server and then do your scripting, right? And tomorrow you don't have any work on QTP. So that somebody else can use this concurrent license. That is shareable. Whereas the seed license is onto the specific computer. Nobody can use it. So that is the difference between the seed and license and concurrent license. Usually like in real-time projects, most of the time we go with this concurrent license because it is shareable across the team members. Okay. So that's the 2 lesson types, like how we are going to use in the real-time project. Okay. Any questions? So node or this is the seed license, the floating or concurrent license. Okay. Then now let's look at prepare to use QTP, prepare to automate the test. Then we are going to look at this recording mode, context sensitive, low level recording, that part. Alright, so let me okay. Alright, so let's look at the basic functionality in QTP. Let's try to understand those features. So today just I'm going to talk about maybe this week, today, tomorrow, probably the next day after also. We're going to look at some of these features, what we learned, what we not covered in the basic classes, like the recovery scenarios, that kind of features we're going to discuss. Object identification, what are the mandatory properties, suggestive properties, how you can set them. And then the parameters, there are different parameters, action parameters, that kind of stuff we're going to discuss in these 2 or 3 sessions. Even the checkpoints also you have some advanced checkpoints like the accessibility XML checkpoints. So those are the things we're going to discuss, and then we will discuss about the framework. Then we'll work on the project. Okay. Okay, so today just we're going to look at the recovery scenario feature, what it is and why we need. So recovery scenario. Okay, so low level recording or analog recording, pretty much the same thing. So there is slight difference between them. So I'm going to talk about those things later. Okay, low level and end up with one. Okay, so recovery scenario. So what's the recovery scenario? What's the recovery scenario? Anybody? To handle errors. Okay, so to precise, to handle one time
Error.
error or exception. Okay, error or exception. So why we need recovery scenario in the script? Why we need recovery scenario in the script? So basically, in the last class we discussed how we are going to execute your script. So if you look at the process, you are going to run your script and then you are going to create that script. Means you are going to run script in batch file, right? So that means what's the batch file? You are going to run say 100, 200 scripts. You want to run say 100 scripts overnight, and then tomorrow just you want to look at all those script results. Then what happens is, when you are trying to run this 100 scripts in a batch file, all of a sudden when it is executing the 20th script, okay, when it is executing the 20th script, then there is an error because of the test data issue. Okay, QTP and test data problem, there is an error in a particular script. Then what happens? There is a pop-up error that comes up during your script execution, right? And because of that script issue, the remaining 80 script execution gets stopped. But somehow like the QTP has to run all these 100 scripts. That's what actually you want to see the results by tomorrow. So this is where the recovery scenarios are useful. Continue all script execution without any interruption. So that's the main useful feature, like why we need this recovery scenario. And what are the different errors that may come across in scripts? What are different errors or exceptions? What are the different types of errors? Pop-up windows. Okay, so what is a pop-up window? Something like, say, you look at in application, when you are entering some wrong username or wrong password, anything. So here, this is a pop-up window. Like it says, there isn't any wrong. So whenever this kind of pop-up windows that comes during your script execution, then the QTP has to understand how to handle this pop-up window. So you are going to create a recovery scenario to handle that particular window. So those are pop-up windows. And then object state. What's an object state? So object state is something like, okay, so once you enter the username and password, long time. Okay. So then, when this particular button will get enabled, once you enter a date and then select fly from city and fly to city, so that then only this particular button gets enabled. Then what happens sometimes, because of this application issue, even though you enter all this information, still this button is disabled. But what your script is going to do, once it enters information, it has to, your script is going to click on this button, but that is disabled. Then what happens? Your script gets into some issue. It gives an error, right? So again, you need to handle that kind of errors in the script execution. These are especially object state errors, like object state, whether it is disabled or enabled. So those things you can handle through different scenarios, different recovery scenarios, object state errors, or pop-up window errors. Then what are the other errors? Test run error. There is something like the test data issue. So you entered in your test script a wrong data. So this is a test data related issue. Most of the time, these are the issues. Because most of like we are trying to input some wrong data in the script, and then script will get into the issue. And then the other scenario is the application crash. Okay, when our application crash, then what happens? So basically, your script is going to give an exception, so the QTP has to understand how to handle that. So these are the usual errors or exceptions that comes when during the script execution. Somehow, like you need to handle this kind of errors, and then educate QTP. Hey, whenever any such errors occurs during the script execution, then you need to educate QTP to handle this way. So we are going to look at how to handle these different errors during with the recovery scenario. And then recovery scenario has two parts. Okay, two parts. Pre-recovery scenario and post-recovery scenario. Okay, pre-recovery scenario and post-recovery scenario. So what is the difference between these two is? Pre-recovery scenario is how to kill error message. Pre-recovery scenario are useful to handle the error message. And post-recovery scenario is how to handle current script execution. How to handle current script execution. Pre-recovery scenario and post-recovery scenario. So what are the different recovery scenario types? So best correct, these are the different recovery scenario types to handle different exceptions or errors. Pop-up recovery scenario, and then object state recovery scenario to handle object state errors, and then test runner recovery scenario and application crash. These are the different scenario types you can create to handle these different errors. Okay. So we are going to look at how to create these scenarios. This is pretty much the theory part of it. Okay, what it is and why we need that. What are the different errors, how you create, and what are the different parts in the scenario. Right? So any questions? I'm going to show you now on the tool how you create this scenario. Okay. So now let's look at one by one how you're going to create these scenarios. Alright. So now I'm going to create a simple script. So let me quickly record the script. Okay. So I'm going to record the script. The automation, record and run settings. And then this is the Windows application. And this is the application I want to open. Okay. And then I go ahead and record the script. Okay. I enter the username and password. Okay. Alright. So now I'm going to enter the data flight from city, and fly to city. Click on this flight button, then click OK. Then say enter the customer name. Click on this insert order. Then close the application and stop recording. Okay, so this is how the script is recorded, right? And now I'm going to do the parameterization part. Whenever I tell you people in the classes how to do this parameterization in keyword view. So later we are going to discuss how to do the same thing in expert view, but let's focus on the keyword view. So here you can do the parameterization, right? Say flight from city. Even if you look at the actual screen, that way you better know, that way you can better analyze your script, right? So how to analyze your script is you can look at the active screen, because active screen is nothing but it's going to capture the snapshots while recording the script. Okay, this is an active screen. It is a snapshot. The QTP is going to capture all screenshots while recording the script. These are basically application snapshots. So even when whatever the line you select here, so it's going to highlight that particular object. That means, okay, this line is doing something on this particular object. That way you can better analyze your script with the help of this active screen. And then this is where this is flight from city. So I want to do parameterization this part. Okay, so click on this and then click on this configure the value, this small button. And now we are going to select the parameter option. Then we are going to enter the name of the parameter, say flight from city. Okay, so that's the name of the parameter, and then click OK. Similarly, I want to do the next one, flight from city, flight to city. So again, click on this button and then parameter and then fly to city. Okay, so this way we need the flight from city and fly to city. And then if you go to the data table now, you see those different columns are created in the data table. So you can enter the data now, right? So here I'm going to enter this Paris to London, different data. This is the test data. And then say Portland to Paris. So I can enter different data, right? And then, so now actually like I completed the test data, and whenever I want to run this page, because it has to run for 3 rows, right? There is 3 rows. And now, because if you do this record and run settings, it's going to open the application one time. But in this case, you have to open the application multiple times. That's where actually you're going to select the first radio button. What the radio button says, record and run test on any open Windows based application. That means you are going to open application in a different way. Okay? And then click OK. Now you will come here and then do the system issue. Right? Instead, step the data. This other way you can open application. Okay, that's also very popular question in interview. How to open application? One way is record and run settings. The other way is using system utility object. So here you can select utility object, then system utility. Okay. And here we are going to provide application executable file. So how to get the executable file? So here sample, and then I click on this slide, select properties. Then copy this executable file, then paste it here. Because you are saying this is the application I'm going to open. Then click OK. And now I'm going to run the script, and let's see what happens. So what I did is just I recorded the script, and then I did the parameterization, and then I did the system metric. So the 3 steps. And basically your script has to run 3 times. Okay, so this is the first iteration. Now it's doing the second iteration. See what happens here, because this is basically QuickTest related issue. Right? So you entered here a wrong data. There is London. Instead of O, you just use mention A. That's what it says here. Cannot identify that particular item in the fly to object. You see here, there's a fly to object, right? So basically, that London, it cannot identify that one in this list. That item is not there. That's where you see this kind of error you get, like test a runtime error. This is a runtime error. So basically, like your intention is, you want to run this script for all these rows. Because here it's a test data problem. Okay, the QTP has to put some results and then continue your execution to the third row.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.